Yes, everyone, welcome another video here from the Tokyo Real Estate Man, and I sit here on the Google Maps video, or I guess the Google Maps of central Tokyo, and I can't put it on at home because what happens when I try to move it in and out, there's just too much compiling of important data, so I have to keep it more focused. It just takes too long. But we talked about, there was a comment the other day here, and I have to see here. I'm going to grab my phone here, and this is by, oh my God, Super Luminio. So I think that's millennial, but luminal, okay? And he has had some really great commentary, and this one of the comments was what? Yeah, the gravity analogy is perfect. It really is pulling people into those the centers of mass Shinjuku and Shibuya. Ever since your video on the Akasaka property, I've been obsessed with that area though. My head says Shinjuku, but my heart says Akihabara. Now, that was this series of comment. If you go to that one video that we did in Nakano, was the one about Nakano 40 meters, and you want to read through the commentary. I think we had a pretty good exchange right there. I'm not going to necessarily talk about it. We'll repeat some of the themes that we talked about here as I go over back here to the Google Maps. Now, this is really my interpretation of the Tokyo real estate market, as really the gravity, see, it's too fancy, the maps here now. The gravity sort of beams up from this area, and this here at the very bottom is Akasaka, and over here is Toranomon. Okay, now this is just my opinion. And then over here you have Ginza. Down here is the Ginza area, and the Ginza area is traditionally that one sort of shopping street in Ginza. It's sort of been held as the sort of benchmark for Tokyo pricing. However, my interpretation of that is a little different, because what happens, Toranomon and Ginza sit here in the lowlands. So if you want to understand Tokyo, really the key is to understand these sort of canals. And these canals that come here, these are ancient canals, okay? And they go around the palace right here to the bottom of Akasaka, and then they come back. So this area, or this sort of area, I'll try to move the mouse in it here, okay? This is on the lowlands, but it is definitely in the center area. However, this part here is actually on an escarpment. The king, the emperor's palace, he picked a really good parcel of land for himself, and it must have been really defensible in the Edo period, because it sits on a higher ground. So if there were any marauders or attackers coming up, they had the high ground right there and a moat around it. So it was a very defensible position for the Edo samurai. And so Tokyo sort of beams out of that area. Now, this area where I'm moving, this is the seat of government right here, okay? And a lot of the new money now, the new money has sort of, they move into like here, Shibuya right here. The new money is sort of like this sort of area. And this sort of area, which is Ichigaya, Ichibancho, this is really the really old money likes that area. So you can see that, let's say in the Edo period, Ichibancho and stuff like that, you could say that the lead civil servants, they really love that sort of area. And then one other important area here is the Konda area right here, and it is become less important now. Actually, it's sort of moved here to Shibuya, but these are where you find all the newspapers, and the newspapers were the tool, obviously, of the power. Now the power is still here. Definitely the power is still on the lead emperor, or the royal family in Japan, the Yamamoto clan. It's still the most powerful family in Japan, and the government is there. Some people might even interpret it. My wife, Japanese, would interpret that this government is just an instrument. She would look at it like this. It's just an instrument of theater for these people who are in the back, and they are the ones that possess this land and this land and this land and this land. So you see a lot of like central Tokyo is controlled here by the parks, and like when we try to move, I'll try to move this move it back, you can see here the dominant area right here, almost half of it is parks and stuff like that. And as you get closer to the water, the valuations get a little less. And that's why I interpret Ginza's quality as a little less. Okay, that kind of gives you a little sort of a political little breakup of what's happening here in central Tokyo. But definitely, I think that the gravity sort of beams, I'm sorry, get stupid stuff on Google Maps, too fancy, is beaming sort of out of this area here. Let's move over here to the, what happens, I can't really, when you move this one map here, this is sitting over that one area where I was going in and out. I can't really do it because it just picks up too much data and I can't effectively make the video. Anyhow, we have Akasaka right here, and you can see that there is supply here. Now, I should talk about this. We come over here. I haven't done any price restrictions here at all, okay? I've taken the rental stock out of this equation. I guess it is an equation in some ways. And we're also looking at stuff that's over 30 meters. Don't forget, if supply or if something comes on under 30 meters, you generally cannot get financing for it. Okay, so if you do want to sell your unit in the future, you're not exposing yourself to people who can can acquire leverage to buy it. You need to then, if it's under 30 meters, you need to find a cash buyer. Okay, so if the Tokyo real estate man, if my thesis is correct, this is sort of the area right now where the gravity is sort of pulling out. Well, this area, there isn't one sort of center. Now you can see we're in here in the seat where the seat of government is right here. There's absolutely no supply. Okay, when we move up here to Ichibancho right there, okay, where I told you this is where the civil servants are. Probably this is where they were, okay, during the Edo time. You can see this is a very old neighborhood, okay, and it's full of red pill. What do we have here? The cheapest, we got a green one here. It's going to be like 700. Oh, I'm wrong on that. But yeah, I thought it was going to be bigger. But a 32-meter apartment for 4,000 mon. Okay, really. So that's what you're looking at. We can move it here. And this is why super luminal. Your idea of Akasaka, your heart says, not Akasaka, I'm sorry, like Akihabara. Okay, the reason your heart says Akihabara over Shinjuku is I think that the gravitational pull, if there is a gravitational pull, okay, is greater on Akihabara than it is on Shinjuku. So I would say in some ways that Akihabara is greater than Shinjuku. Now, a lot of people, when they buy real estate, they cannot think always in terms of this center idea, okay? They're buying real estate also for what they need in their life. For example, if your job is on the Chuo line, let's say in Kichijoji, and your kids are going to school in Kichijoji, and your job is, let's say, in Mitaka or Koenji, you're going to buy, you cannot always, this gravity system doesn't always work for the entire market. However, it's real. This gravity is real. And the reason I think that you're thinking Akihabara is better than Shinjuku is that I think that the pull here, although the distance, really the distance from the center to, no, this is really pulling hard here on Akihabara, this palace right here. And you can see this area where the traditional, basically the newspapers or the instruments of communication. The instruments of communication have moved though, because no one really reads a newspaper anymore. Okay, they've moved probably more to Shibuya. Okay, and if you go here, if you go down to the, I don't mean joke Japanese channels like this one. You know, I'm talking about the really big Japanese channels. The really big Japanese YouTube channels of the young influencers and stuff like that. They are generally, if you watch their video content is all happening in this area in Shibuya. This is where communication has moved to. Is this area Harajuku, Shibuya, Daikanyama, Nakameguro, Omotesando? Communication has moved from Kanda to here. In in prior ages when the content was not from the regular people, okay? And the top YouTube pages are obviously sanctioned, okay? Okay, they're obviously sanctioned. There's no, so the communication has just moved here, I think, in some ways to Shibuya, and this sort of area right there. And if you watch the lead Japanese channels, not channels like this one, I mean, a lead Japanese channels, not the ones done by foreigners like me who have lived in Tokyo for a long time. I'm talking about the Japanese channels that my wife would watch. They're all sort of operating here in this area. And what do we see here? We see all red right here. So the gravity is really strong in this area. Okay, however, the pull on Akihabara is indeed a strong one. Okay, and we can even come here and we could even look like we did that one video right there. So what do we have here? What do we have here? This is basically Konda. Akihabara is right up here. This is Akihabara right here. So this is Jimbocho right here, like Jimbocho. This is traditional. Even if you go there right now, you'll see that there's all bookstores and stuff like that. So the Japanese publishing industry, and when publishing was powerful, okay, it's less powerful now. When I was there in the 1990s, in Japan and Tokyo, the publishing was still a very powerful business, and it beamed out here from the Jimbocho area. Now, they didn't hire me, but I went for a job interview as a translator at this publishing company. In the Japanese test, I have the level 1, and I'm not a very good writer. But I had a interview to be a translator because I thought I wanted to try it after I got the level 1. And it was here in Jimbocho that I went to, and I went to a publishing company here for the interview. And thank God for them. They didn't choose me, but thank God for me. I also realized that that's not really what I'm good at. But my point here is that all came out of the publishing industry, which was very, very powerful. And if you come here right to this day, you'll see that all the newspapers are all here in this area. The Mainichi Shimbun, all of them are all here. Okay, then, so here in Akihabara, is there a sample we can look at? There's nothing at the lower, any of that like end user stuff. We do have one that's this little green one. Let's click and see what it is. It's going to probably be in the 4,000s probably. Yeah, so then we have a 36 meter apartment here, okay, for 4,780 man. Okay, 4,780 man. Okay, let's have a look at it quick right here. Built 1984, 36 meters. Look at that. Although it's not a bad unit, it's definitely not a bad unit. Looks like what do we have here? Is that a Lion's Mansion? Looks like a Lion's Mansion. Okay. But you see that sort of 1980s sort of tile color. And I was showing an apartment to a customer a few months ago. They didn't like this sort of design, but this one's definitely grown on me. By the way, look what's across the street. These are all new builds. Okay, I guess that's beaming across the street. So I'm just showing to you that this is like redevelopment, and like that's why the gravity here in Akihabara is so strong. Oh, look at this. Look at this. They're just rebuilding. It's going to sell. Why? So just like we can even extrapolate from this owner. The owner is confident enough that they can come in here and redo this. So let's say it's a real estate company. Let's say a real estate company picked this one up, and then the real estate company is going to have basically a construction arm that of men they can go and get to rebuild it, and that's basically what they're doing. And you can see right there, they're doing it in the fashion that I've been talking about. They're just going to do this really raw fashion right there, which is really cheap. You get anything to the concrete, you just make all the electrical and everything exposed, and you make it part of the decor, and you maximize the space. Like in the 80s, they probably were doing drop ceiling, so everyone just gets rid of the drop ceiling. You paint the concrete on there, and you just put the floor in, and you can see they're doing that's the sort of under padding to the floor, which creates like a sound barrier and stuff like that. And they're just going to do a straight let's look at what they're going to do here. They're going to basically, this is the one main room, and they're going to do one bedroom here. But yeah, this is a really good unit. 2 balconies. What floor do we have it on here? And it's on the 4th floor of a 8-story building. Right, we saw the location already. I'm not going to spend too much more time on this one, right? Coming here, again, I haven't commented on this much lately, but these are sort of the averages, and the averages is, this sort of falls sort of in this sort of range, I think, right here. So it's kind of, it's on the upper end of this average, but it's great location, concrete building, 1984. Management fees of 110 a month, repair fund fees 5,000. No surprises. This is east or northeast facing, and Shogyo Chiki right there, commercially zoned. New Airbnb laws though are here in Tokyo right now. Really difficult to get Airbnb anywhere. It's just really difficult right now. Although I think people are probably still operating because it's just operating, but just harder to get through. But it is zone commercial, which means it could be rented as an office, commercial space, 4th floor, 1980 floor, 84 Shoryuken, 81 units in the building, 10 meters of balcony. I think it was 2 balconies. It's a nice unit. It's a nice unit. It's definitely going to hold its value right there. So yeah, you can see it's just like straight, good. It's just going to move. It's a good sample. And that gravity, okay, that Japanese word, it's a good word. It's called juryoku, and ju is strong, or like strength, right? So the pull, like juryoku, and ryoku is chikara. Chikara also means like strength. So ju is like the weight, and chikara, juryoku, that means gravity. So that's a really good word to also learn in Japanese. Anyway, I want to cut back here to the map because I did have one sort of sample here it was good to look at that one, by the way, in Akihabara right there. That's a good sample. And you can see as you get in closer here, you could just, when you look, just use this software, this at-home software. Tells us everything we need to know about this gravitational pull. Like, we don't need to know anymore. Just like use this software, study the dots. Study the dots. Okay, I shouldn't have moved it up because now it's going to probably not compile very quickly. Better just keep it, move it down so it can move the map more fluidly. Okay, now we're going to come back here to Akasaka right there. Okay, and don't forget, like I said, when you see these moats in central Tokyo, everything's on the lowlands down here because it connects here to the ocean. This Imperial Palace, though, is higher up, so it was very wisely chosen when it was chosen because it's a really defensible piece of land. Back in the samurai, I mean, you could probably drone attack it right now, but anyway, we're here. This one apartment I thought we could look at straddles here. We have Toranomon. By the way, let's just click some of this stuff in Toranomon. Let's have a look what we got here for price. Okay, 1,000, like Ichioku, 4,500 man. Okay, for 49 meters. Okay, there's one here. Look at this. It's a $7 million apartment. We could just, I'm not gonna look at it, but we'll just look at it. Okay, this is Rokuoku 9,800 man. So here's the Tower Mansions. The Tower Mansions, this was built in 2007, 110 meters. Okay, what floor is it on? The 19th floor. Okay, and that's, I mean, this is not even, it's not even a tower. This is one of the mini ones that they did here in Akasaka, or Toranomon. There's a business building. There's other towers that go up like 50 stories. Okay, those are the ones that are most in play, the ones that are most popular. Okay. Anyway, that just gives you an idea of it. Okay, which is just like rich and boring in a way, like rich and boring, but it's nice. Don't get me wrong. It's just rich and boring, but it's in the right location. Now, would I advise anyone to buy? Depends on how rich you are. Like if this is nothing for you, right? If you're close to the central banks and this is nothing for you, then this is like something that you want to like pick up. In some ways, it's a really good deal. Definitely, I think right now, like it's going to hold its value over time. However, Tokyo real estate man, I come from the rat school. the rat school and the people that follow this channel, fellow rats out there. We can't buy things at the top of the market. We have to, like, I came up through this all from being a rat. Granted, I'm going to get one of these. Is going to be mine now. So the rat or the mouse formula is a really good one. And this is the one I thought we could choose because this is the one that's right in the gravity that you see. The reason I like Akasaka better is it's the escarpment where there's supply that the regular people can buy on. Toranomon's at the bottom. So like my interpretation of this Akasaka, it's on the best quality land where there's supply, where the regular people can get something. Okay, in the seat of government, we can't get any of that. The king owns there, the king owns there. Okay, the financial kings all own in this sort of area down here. But in here, there's still positions where the rats can get in. And I thought this is the one we could look at here today because it's actually, but it's at probably the bottom of the escarpment. So in some ways, you could say that the stuff here on the top, this is the Canadian Embassy right here, by the way. The stuff on the top of this one here actually might be better because it's on the hill. There's a 68 meter unit here for Kyusen 780 man. Okay, but this one's a little bit cheaper. So let's go down here. And this one here, okay, and it says it had the renovation. And you'd say here, basically it's 4,000 man, but you'd say 3,990 man. 99 man, sorry, 99 man. Forgot that last $900. And then I think I cracked that one here. Is it there? Oh no, that was the one in Akihabara. Is this it right here? And this is a really interesting unit. Okay, we're gonna get to it. Okay, so there we go right there. Shellman. Shellman. I think of the shell game. Shellman. Who knows how it's supposed to be anyhow. There's no real great pictures here, but it looks all the renovation has been done. There's 2 balconies, and the renovation here, I don't think it's all that great. It's just like medium nice, like just medium nice. Like they're just like they didn't take out the raise. They still have the lower ceilings. You're not seeing that sort of look like you saw there in Akihabara, which is a better look, which is like you expose everything to the top. You like this is a really easy to do. The lower ceiling is a really easy thing to do because you hired all the wiring and you don't need to do intricate work. You just come in, you put the ceiling in, and then you get the which are the wallpaper guys called the cross yasan. They come in and they just put the cross. That's the word for wallpaper in Japanese, called cross, and they're just going to put the cross in like that. So yeah, we'll just go to their pictures. Nothing, there's no surprises here, okay? It's just an apartment in Akasaka that's right in the middle of where the gravity is pulling out. And there's some really cool, because I looked at the map earlier, we're going to get to the map. Okay, management fees of 158 a month in Canadian dollars, and repair fund fees of 720. Like, it's no surprise here. It's $220 in running costs for the space. East facing Shogyo Chigi, again, zone commercial. Again, it's a good examples right here because they're zone commercial. Okay, I was looking at the Airbnb laws for like Minato Ward, where this is. They're really strict. You can't take like bookings at the end of the year, and you can't take bookings in April and stuff like that. So it's yeah, like the window closing on Airbnb definitely, or the short-term rentals, or even the Ryokan. People that got the Ryokan license, there's like that's being restricted as well. Okay, 37 meters. Let's get up here to the map and crack this map open because it's really interesting. So we're basically sitting on the bottom of the escarpment right here. Akasaka's up here, which is the escarpment that goes up. Okay, and then the seat of the government here across the street from there. Toranomon right there. Okay. This is basically the center of Tokyo, right in Akasaka. Okay, and then we got the Google Maps golden guy, and we're going to drop him right here into Akasaka, right there. And what is going to happen? Ooh, I like the look of this already. So you can see totally Akasaka Street, 1980 building, 1990 building, right there. Probably an office building. Looks like an office building right there. And is this the building right here? Is this it? Oh, there's the house mark. And yes, I found the building. There it is right there. Right there. And you can see it's an older building right there, but I was looking at this earlier down the street. Look at this right here. Okay. Yeah, so this is exactly what can happen. I mean, it's eventually, this building is eventually is going to group. Something's going to basically happen on this street at one point. That's like really cool. I love these cantilevers. This might be a Lion's Mansion. Like, I really love these sort of top suites. They got such great light, and I like just the angle that they put on the top suites, so they can get that really great light coming here from the south. Anyway, that lets you know about what you're investing in. When is redevelopment going to come here? I don't know. I can't say. There's a kanji there for Sharuman. There it is. Sharuman Akasaka right there. So this is the actual building right there. And you can see there's like, there's might even be like a bento or a restaurant. Looks like there's a restaurant here on the first floor. There's Sharuman Akasaka. Is that the shell man? I don't know. I play the shell game. I don't know. But you can see this is right in the middle of the gravity, okay? And you can know that, like, who's going to come here. The people that are in the financial sector, which is very close to the government sector, because they basically are the same nowadays, and they're going to come here for lunch. If you ever go to Akasaka during lunchtime, it's a great place because it's full of great restaurants for lunch and stuff, and then you can go for coffee after. There's a building built in the last 15 years right there. There's towers right there. Is a tower necessarily going to come here to this lot? I'm not sure. But there's a Thai restaurant right there. What kind of truck is that right there? Any trucks? Any hints onto what? Just some sort of delivery truck. Anyhow, that's just a look here at Akasaka. Talking about a property here in Akasaka, but also talking about the one in Akihabara. But looking at right at where the sort of try to get off this map here, at where the gravity sort of beams out of. Come back here to the Google Maps, although it pisses me off to all these Google Maps, because when you move the mouse, all they do is open these sort of commercial areas. Okay, there you go. A little picture of who knows, looks like it's in Harajuku. This is the area that the gravity is sort of beaming out of. The communication here in Shibuya now used to be here in Kanda, but yeah, the gravity is sort of like it here, Kasumigaseki, right there where I'm moving the mouse. Kasumigaseki, that's the seat of government, okay? And the power and the gravity is beaming out from there. Can you make that gravity part of like your real estate decisions? I don't know, but if you're investing in Tokyo, that gravity is definitely influencing you, because it's pulling all the things that are closer to this gravity are holding their value better. So when you understand how this gravity works, you can make a better decision. Okay, if you're interested in a property from Japan, you can always come here to my Instagram, which is instagram.com Tokyo Real Estate Man website. Okay, I have a website of the very same name, Tokyo Real Estate Man website. I don't know where I put it. I didn't think to put it up, but you could just go to the website, which is called Tokyo Real Estate Man. There's a contact box. You put the contact box, it'll just bring you down. Anyway, I invite you to follow the Instagram. Thank everyone for following this channel. I'm really enjoying the comment section on the channel. Very enjoyable. Very useful commentaries coming up here on the videos that we make. いつもこのチャンネル見てるありがとうございます。今日の動画、赤坂と神田、あとこの東京の不動産の重力、gravity、この重、which is 重さ、the heaviness, and 力、which is the pull。そういう gravity を重力のについての動画、今日本当に楽しかった。いつもこのチャンネル見てる皆様、本当にありがとうございます。今日の動画は終わりです。